Good afternoon again, 804th Medical Brigade. This is Major Jesse Bork, and this is the Executive Officer Zone. Today we're going to talk about how-to number 4. I'm going to show you how to do something cool. We're basically going to use the power of Excel to go from a list of soldiers who are overdue in their GAT. This particular report is not pulled from CSMM, so there's no way for CSMM to automatically plug in email addresses into this report so that I can target those particular soldiers via email. So let's go ahead and get started here. So this is the report that the division provided to us, and this is showing all 1,200 something soldiers who are on this report that are either green or red on their GAT survey. And there's some value in this, but what I really want to know is just the soldiers that are red. So what you can do with Excel, since the filter is already built in right here to be able to filter out red or green, and since I only want to know the soldiers that are red, then you can use the filter function to delete all the soldiers that are green. So what you'll do is you'll click on the little arrow right here, and you'll get some choices. Green, red. So you're going to unselect the red, and then make sure that there's a check box in the little box next to the word green on the drop down that comes down right there. So here we go. So this is all the soldiers that are green, and then the next thing that you're going to do is select all these rows all the way down to the bottom. There's 867 of them. And that's going to allow you to be able to delete the rows. So select all those cells. You do a right click on that, and then select delete row. Then what's going to happen is that this is all going to be blank. So the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to go back to this box right here. All that's going to be showing now is just the word green next to the little box. So you'll select green on there. And that'll actually take that back. All that's going to be showing is just the word red after these have been deleted. So that'll bring you back here. So these are all the soldiers in the brigade who are red on their GAT survey. So the next thing is I'm going to use off to the side over here. I pulled another report for everybody who is a non-participant. Because while there may be some value in knowing which of the soldiers in the brigade are a non-participant and haven't done their GAT survey, those are not necessarily soldiers that I want to chase after for this. They're not exactly low-hanging fruit. I want to know all the soldiers that are actively drilling and who have an overdue GAT survey. So I went into CSMM, I pulled the DFAS non-participant report, and then I copied all the just the column that had the names in it, copied just the names, and then pasted that at the bottom of my overdue GAT report. So it's hidden here, but what you would be able to see is that there are soldiers who are overdue in their GAT, and then all the soldiers that are non-participants. The next thing that I want to do is I want to identify who all the duplicates are the soldiers who are a non-participant and are overdue in their GAT, because those are the soldiers that I don't necessarily want to chase after, and I want to delete those from the report. So the first thing you want to do is sort A to Z. That's going to basically put everything into alphabetical order, all the duplicates and whatnot. So you'll have everywhere that there is somebody who is a non-participant and is overdue on their GAT, their names will show up right next to each other on the report right there. Then the next thing that you can do in using conditional formatting, so if you go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, and then duplicate values, when you click on duplicate values, it's going to give you the automatic selection is that it's going to color all the cells pink and all the text red for everywhere that there's a duplicate value for a name. And that's going to tell me, again, that's everybody who is a non-participant and is overdue on their GAT. And it's going to look like this. Some of this is hidden right here just to hide the names, but you can see where there's all the duplicate values right there. And I can tell they're duplicate values because they're in pairs right here. So I don't want to know who all the non-participants and overdue GATs are. I want to delete those from the report. So the next thing that you can do again is going into filtering right here. So you click on the little white or gray arrow right here that goes into your filtering options. You want to filter by color. So I want to select in all the cells that are pink in color, which is going to be everybody that is overdue on their GAT and is a non-participant. When you click on that pink, this little pink box right there, this is the output that you're going to get from that. So again, everybody that is overdue on their GAT and is a non-participant. So again, you're going to select all the rows and then right click and then delete those rows, which will give you this right here where it looks like you've deleted everything, which you actually haven't. Go back into the filter menu right here, and then you're going to click on select all, and that's going to give you a long list of names right here again. Alright, so what we've got in this report now is everybody that is overdue on their GAT, or let's see, overdue on their GAT, overdue on their GAT and is not a non-participant. No, everybody that's overdue on their GAT and is overdue on their GAT and is a non-participant. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Some technical difficulties there. Alright, so everybody that's on this report right here is everybody that is overdue on their GAT, which would be all the names that are hidden right here, and everybody that is not overdue on their GAT but is a non-participant, which would be where you see blanks in the UIC field right here again. So once again, this is because we're sort of like making Excel work for us. This it does even confuse me sometimes. Again, once again, everybody that is overdue on their GAT, which would be all the names right here with the qualifier, that where you see a blank right here, these are people who are non-participants, but they are not overdue on their GAT. The next thing we want to do then is that we just want this to be people who are overdue on their GAT. So I want to get the the non-participants who may not be overdue on their GAT. I want to get those out of the list. Going into the next thing to do right here, under the UIC field right here, you want to drop down right there, and then the next thing we're going to do is I want to see all the just the blanks. So I want to delete all the non-participants who have taken their GAT off of the list. So there'll be an option up here to select all. So you'll click on that, which is going to make all the check marks disappear right here, just like that. And then you'll scroll down after you've all the check marks disappear, and you'll want to recheck the one that says blanks. Click OK. It's going to show you all the fields that are where the UIC cell is blank, and then you'll just want to delete all of those. You want to take all of those off of the list. And that's going to leave you just with people who are overdue their GAT, but they're not a non-participant. So that gives us a better idea of who the low-hanging fruit are for soldiers that we want to go after for this, as well as maybe just identify to your leadership that, you know, I've got 100 soldiers in my formation who were overdue on their GAT survey, but there's only 75 of them that I can reach out and touch. So, for example, if I've got 100 people in my formation, 100 people are overdue, and there's only 75 of them that I can touch, well, 75% is the best that I'll ever be able to do, just because there's 25 soldiers that I won't be able to reach because they're a non-participant. All right, so the next thing now, taking this a step further, so I want to send a mass email to all of the soldiers that are on here. So again, this report's not pulled from CSMM. CSMM has the function to add email addresses and whatnot, other information into their own reports, but because this report's not pulled from CSMM, there's no way to automatically add the email addresses in there, but there's a way to do that. So again, off to the side over here, I pulled an alpha roster for the whole brigade, and showing their name, their email addresses and whatnot. That's available in my CSMM shared rucksack. It's called 804th Med Brigade Contact Roster. So I went into that report, and then I copied and pasted all just those three columns, which would be the soldier's name, and then both of their email addresses. And I basically just copied and pasted that into here. And incidentally, like, because I'd already set up conditional formatting for column A right here, it colored all the duplicate values pink as before. Now the difference with how we're going to sort and filter this report now is going to be a little bit different, because everybody that is showing as a duplicate value in here is everybody who is overdue their GAT and was included as part of that email address report. The ones that I want to identify as duplicates would be the ones who are overdue on their GAT and have an email address, but those are the ones that I want to know about, not the ones that I don't want to know about. The ones that I don't want to know about are the soldiers that are not overdue on their GAT but do have an email address in there. So in this particular case, the menu that the menu choices that you're going to pick would be clicking on the little box right here, going down to filter by color, and then no fill, which is going to be everybody that in this particular report is not a duplicate, or everybody that's pink. So when you're done there, when you've selected the no fill, it's just going to give you all the pink fields are going to be gone. Those are the ones that you're going to want to delete, which is, again, it's going to be the soldiers who are not overdue on their GAT but have an email address in the system. So you'll delete those, and then you will go back to the filter menu right here, and then you want to select all again, which is going to give you everybody that is overdue on their GAT and has an email address in the system. All right, the next tricky part, though, is I want to get to a point with this particular report where all I have to do is copy and paste these email addresses into an email. As you can see, there's bits and pieces of UICs in there and whatnot, and there's just some extra information in there that's going to make sending an email problematic. So next thing that you'll do right here is the custom auto filter. So it's another selection in the drop box right there. It's a text filter, I believe. So you'll click the text filter, and then there'll be a selection for custom auto filter. You want to pick this particular string right here, which is where the UIC does not contain mail.mil. So I want to, for all these duplicate values right here, like for example, row 2 and 3 right here, it's the same soldier, but one has their email address in it, and then one has the UIC. Well, I don't want the UIC to have to paste that into an email. So I'm going to select everything that does not contain mail.mil, which is and just make sure that whenever you're doing this custom auto filter, that you have just column B selected right here. You don't want to do that for this field right here, because you want to keep all these civilian email addresses in there. So you'll click OK. Let's see, I think these are out of order right here. Yeah, some extra slides in there. So here's the choices you have right here. Does not contain mail.mil. So that'll give you this again right here. Looks like you deleted everything when you actually haven't. And then you'll click on the little white box right there for the filter menu, and then you're going to select all again, which is going to bring all these email addresses back in. And we're getting close here. That's pretty much it. So the next thing you want to do is you want to send an email to all these soldiers that need to do their GAT. So you'll start with the first one right here, and you'll just drag down, selecting all the email addresses in one column at a time, which is I've tried to do it both columns at the same time, and it just didn't work for me. So just do one column at a time. So you'll select everybody, click on copy right here, and then you'll go into your email program. Outlook is what I'm using in particular here. What you're going to do is there's always going to be soldiers who, even if you tell them not to reply all, they're going to reply all. So this is where you can use the blind carbon copy. So I'm sending this email address to myself, but I'm going to paste all those email addresses from the spreadsheet into this blind carbon copy field right here. So you'll do that both for the column that has all their military email addresses, as well as the column that has their civilian email addresses. Don't worry so much about where there's a blank in there. Excel processes that and deletes them all. This is the if you were to send a mass email to all of your soldiers that they need to go do their GAT, this is the link right here. So let's just say, for example, that let's see, let me bear with me 1 second right here. I'm going to hide some PII here. Alright, just hiding all the email addresses. So if, for example, that I was going to send an email to a whole bunch of soldiers all at one time, so this is sort of like what it would look like after you're done. So I pasted all of the the emails into the blind carbon copy field, and this is an example of a message that you could put in there. So in this particular case, I'm just asking soldiers not to reply to the message. If they have any questions, just to contact their unit leadership. And the message is that your global assessment test is overdue. Please navigate to this link. Thanks. There's my signature block. And that's pretty much it. All I'd have to do right here is just click on send, and that message would go out. This is the website right here. There's been some conjecture in the past, which is absolutely true, that the Army GAT survey was not available from the AKO web page anymore. That is true. So you actually do need the direct link to be able to get into it. So feel free to distribute this slide to your soldiers for the link, and then what the website looks like. There's a way to CAC directly in, or if the soldier has a DS log on, then they can get in that way if they don't have a CAC card with them at the time to take the GAT test, or if the computer that they're working on doesn't have the ability to use a CAC card. So that's all. If you have any questions about anything, please feel free to reach out to me. If there's something that you need to know how to do, chances are somebody else wants to know how to do that too, and if I don't know how to do it, I'll figure it out, and that'll be how-to number 5. So thanks again for tuning in.